he noticed the faint tinkling of an unused bell that hung in the corner. One by one, every bell in the house began to ring out, and ring out loudly. Suddenly, Scrooge heard footsteps heavily thumping up the stairs, and with them a clanking noise as if a person was dragging a heavy chain. A ghostly figure floated through the locked door. It was Jacob Marley, bound in chains and dragging behind him a trail of cash boxes, keys, ledgers, deeds, padlocks, and more chains wrought in steel. Though he saw the death-cold phantom standing before him, Scrooge fought against his senses and growled, "You're a humbug, I tell you, humbug!" At this the spirit cried, "I have wandered the earth for 7 years as punishment for neglecting the needs of my fellow men. I have come to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping this same fate. You will be haunted by 3 spirits, Scrooge. Expect the first tomorrow when the clock tolls 1. Then the ghost of Marley floated out through an open window into the bleak, dark night. Scrooge slammed shut the window, went straight to bed without undressing, and exhausted, fell asleep upon the instant. Scrooge awoke. It was still quite dark and extremely cold. Perplexed and deeply bothered with a mix of dread and astonishment as he thought and thought of Marley's ghost, he asked himself, was it a dream or not? As the clock struck 1 with a deep and melancholy toll, Scrooge all of a sudden recalled Marley's promise of the first ghostly visit. At that, the curtains of his bed were drawn apart by a strange, childlike figure, dressed in white, and from whose head sprung a bright, clear jet of light. "I am the ghost of Christmas past." "Long past?" Scrooge asked the glittering figure. "No, your past," it replied softly. "What brought you here?" asked Scrooge nervously. "Your welfare," said the ghost. "Rise and walk with me," he said, and taking Scrooge's hand, the two gently floated through the window. Instantly, the ghost transported Scrooge to the countryside where he had been raised. The city had vanished as had the darkness and mist. "What you see are but shadows of the things that have been," said the ghost. Recognizing every gate, post, and tree, Scrooge was brought to his old school, empty but not quite deserted. Indeed, Scrooge wept as he saw his poor, forgotten self as he used to be, a solitary child left behind. The ghost motioned toward the classroom door. It opened and a little girl darted in. It was Scrooge's little sister, Fran. "Father has sent me on a couch to bring you home, dear brother," said the child. "Home, forever and ever." Scrooge reminisced sadly that Fran had died as a young woman some years ago, and had one child, his nephew Fred. In but that moment, the schoolhouse was left behind them, and Scrooge and the ghost were now in the busy thoroughfares of a city, at a certain warehouse door. The ghost asked Scrooge if he knew it. "Know it," said Scrooge. "I was apprenticed here." They watched as a jolly Christmas party ensued with dancing, singing, and merriment all around. Ebenezer, now a grown young man, and his fellow apprentice Dick Wilkins were leading the way, and with them the jovial old merchant Fezziwig. During the whole of this time, old Scrooge's heart and soul were in the scene, and with his former self, he remembered everything, and he enjoyed everything. "Quickly now, my time grows short," said the ghost as the scene faded to the past. Scrooge immediately saw himself at a different time, when he was slightly older in the prime of life. There was an eager, greedy, restless motion in the eye. He was not alone, but sat by the side of a fair young woman named Belle, in whose eyes there were tears. "You have changed, Ebenezer. A golden idol has displaced me," she said gently. "And I release you the full heart for the love of him you once were," she continued, handing back to him her golden engagement ring. "Spirit, why do you torture me? No more, no more," cried Scrooge. But there was more. Taken